Get in the picture. I am your host, Sharon Hooker, the Style and Body Confidence Coach and the creator and the founder of the Get in the Picture movement. And if you are ready to get into the picture of your life, physically and metaphorically, if you're ready to stop erasing your history, ready to stop playing the waiting game, and you're ready to show up and be seen with style and confidence, then you're in the right place. Let's go. A huge welcome to Maeve Dennehy to the Get in the Picture podcast. Maeve is the founder and owner of Love Cherish and also O'Malley. I'm wearing one of her O'Malley designs. I'm going to talk about that now in a minute because I want to know a little bit more about the imperfect heart. So a busy woman, I would say, a mom of two, a GA star. Would you go that far?
I don't know about that now, but anyway.
Came out of retirement. And I always just think, ask a busy woman to do something because you always seem, you are super busy, and I get that, but what I do love about you as well is that you don't make it seem like effortless. The way when you are looking at something and you're kind of going, geez, how are they doing all that? It's like there's a truth in, I love the way you tell the truth, and you're kind of going, there's good days, there's bad days, there's ups,
and there is. Yeah. And you don't want to be a moaner, but I think it's very important to show that life isn't easy either. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love my life, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I don't want to portray that everything is just, all so perfect. It's so far from it.
Yeah, because I
just tidied this area for the call, if you saw behind it.
Yeah. Because I think that's actually a disadvantage to people, isn't it? It's kind of because then people are looking at you kind of going, what's wrong with my life and why don't I have all my shit together and why haven't I? And I think it's not mourning, but I just think it's like a reality, just kind of a dose of reality.
Exactly. The more of it, the better, to be honest, I think.
Yeah. So when I say to you about getting into the picture, so there's getting into the picture physically, and then there's getting into the picture, I suppose, of your life. And just when I say get into the picture to you, what do you think of, or what kind of comes to mind to you?
I suppose, like, for me, look, an awful lot of where my confidence comes from and where I just don't really care about anybody else thinks of me is from losing my sister and my mom. And like, Karen got sick at 29, had her hair shaved at 29, went through so much, had a lumpectomy, a mastectomy, etc. But I cherish every single photo I have of her and everything else. And even when I go to look back on old photos, it's not the posed ones. Like, I mean, if you go Google my name, there's 1,200 million posed pictures of me looking there smiling at a camera. They're so irrelevant. They don't show who I am as a person. It's the ones where you're sitting on the couch and you're eating ice cream with your daughter, or the one Molly took a couple of me by the pool last week that, like, don't get me wrong, they won't be going on social media, but my kids will look at them someday and be like, oh, that was mom, she was fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the ones where you can see the moment.
Yeah.
It's just so important to me, like, not the pose ones. There's no personality in them. There's no who you are as a person,
And it is like, and that's what I suppose that's the point to get across is that when you look back on those photographs, you're not kind of going, oh God, a pity they weren't a stone light, or a pity that they didn't have a double chin, or that their eyes aren't closed and they were using their head.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You never ever look back at a photo and think that, like, do you know what I mean? It's the moment of what was happening at that time. There's one of my favorite pictures is on my wedding day, and it's me and Karen, and she's fixing, the way the photographer is like, oh, fix your bracelet. Now we're actually fighting, right? She was just because we all fought, but we're kind of giggling as we fight, that kind of sisterly argument, like, and it's my favorite picture ever because I know exactly what was happening in that moment. Stephen actually got a guy in Limerick to paint Vinton oil painting for me for my sitting room, and I love it because I don't look at it and think, geez, I'm beautiful in that. No, it's my wedding day, I do look well, not gonna lie. But I look at it and think, oh my God, I remember the giddiness,
I know.
The moment for me, like.
And it's funny because I actually knew Karen through a very good friend of hers that they all went to college together. And I came across a picture of Karen in a group of a wedding member, and I sent it to you a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it's those, and for me, all I just remember is Karen smiling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's a huge smile. Yeah. And that's it. It's the moment, isn't it? It's just about capturing life, not about you looking perfect or like. And anyway, it's only yourself. And we look at a photo, right, of four people. Say you and I and Karen are in a picture, and we look at that photo. I'm looking at me, Karen's looking at Karen, and you're looking at you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if
Absolutely.
anybody is comparing or judging or anything, that's an insecurity they have in themselves. And that's something I've had to really come to terms with, because I have had a lot of online trolling and all the rest of it. But I know full well that I'm a good person. And if somebody is judging me or talking about my weight or my hair or my face or whatever, I actually genuinely, sometimes I do get angry, but generally I feel sorry for them, because I think God loves them. They must have such insecurity in their life, you know?
Yeah. And
And
I know it's easy to say, oh, it means more about them than you, but obviously if they're coming into your inbox and your personal space, it's not nice either.
And like, if you're in a bad place at that time and you're feeling low on yourself, it can really knock you. Do you know what I mean? But then I look at myself and I think how much I've done for charity. I'm running a successful business. I've got really good friends that are with me all my life. I'm good to my family. You know, that's what matters.
Yeah. And has there been anything that I suppose has, first of all, I just can't get over it. Like I can't get over people. I genuinely just don't understand it. But
No,
there
I
are
don't
people
see.
out there that
There is,
do
yeah.
it. But has it ever kind of stopped you? Have you ever kind of said, oh, well, actually, you know, I'm not, have they got into your head, like when you go to do something, you kind of, or have you been able to
Do you
get
know
over?
what? I suppose I have pulled back every now and then, but then I do think the more successful you are, the more you'll be talked about. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I have two choices. I can sit back and leave people that I don't know and that are obviously insecure ruin what I have, or I can just drive on and not give them the attention they're looking for. Because I think anybody who is speaking badly of another person has a lot going on and are looking for attention, you know. And am I going to give that? No, I'm not. If somebody bullied my kids, I would tell them to be the better person and walk away, you know. Kill them with kindness, like be better than them. Like, I saw a quote yesterday, first time ever I saw this one, I loved it. It said, kill them with blindness, act like they don't even exist. I think I love that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Anyway, yeah, I do too.
Yeah, no, I love that. Is that what came to me when you said that was actually blindness, that you're shining so bright that they're blinded by you. That's what actually came to me.
So irrelevant, like, you know,
That,
like,
you know, you're,
I think, and I'm not like, everyone goes through loss. I'm not poor me at all. I'm not like that. But I think, you know, I did lose my sister, who's, you know, massively important person in my life, very, very young. You know, she died too young, and it's a different loss. Like losing my mom, I feel my mom had a good life and everything. But I think when you go through something like that, or any kind of personal loss or personal tragedy, it puts such perspective on stuff, and it just, sorry enough for my language, but you just can't be bothered with bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to, like,
yeah.
I had a conversation with a girl that works for me earlier on this morning, and she lost her son. Like, it's awful. Like, and just chatting, and I know how important it is to talk about the person, so I always do make an effort. And I said, I bet you feel like you just can't be bothered with fluff anymore. And she said, no. Why would I bother?
Yeah.
Do you know?
It's just, your bullshit radar, it goes, you just,
I don't have it anymore. Like,
no,
I
and I do
don't.
think, and obviously not that you would be, God, you wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I do think that it does, you know, it just, there's things it's, you know, you're going to pick the right battle to fight. You know, there's just things you couldn't be bothered, as you say, you couldn't be bothered with.
Yeah,
and I do like with, sorry.
I think it can make you as a person. You don't want it, and nobody wants it, but it definitely grounded me. Like, I was very flighty and lived my life the way I wanted and all the rest of it. And then it puts perspective on stuff. You know, you can really, really tell what's important and what's not.
So you kind of said that was a kind of a moment that you kind of, you know, that kind of, you went, okay, look, I'm not going, you know, that I'm not there, I'm not available for it.
No, I'm not there for it. No.
I do think, you know, you'll have the times you're look in the mirror and you're saying awful things to yourself. Because I always think I sometimes think that there'd be nobody meaner to me than me. Sometimes.
1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. Like, we are so critical of that. Awful, like.
It's what we're willing to give oxygen to. You kind of go, okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think, like, you know, today I haven't washed my hair this morning. I don't, like, I've not tan on. Like, you know, the days you don't, I'm not at my best by any means. And I was uptown a minute ago, and I was in the health shop, and the woman working there was like, I love your outfit today. We just got chatting a little bit. I don't know her, and she just gave me such a boost today, you know. And I was like, actually, you know what? I do like my outfit today. I might look amazing, but my outfit's cute. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes we're so hard on ourselves that we can't see what other people see.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And like what I do,
I know I'm the quote queen. Did you ever see that quote? I often share it. It says, "You're so used to your features, you don't know how beautiful you are to a stranger." And I love that, because, like, isn't it so true? Because you know the way you're like, oh God, like, size of my cheeks, oh God, my teeth. You know, like, the things that we analyze are not the things that somebody else sees. You know?
No, it's like, I love, and I do. We're talking about the quotes here. We've gone down a rabbit hole here, but I do love.
I'm terror. Like, I love them.
the Veo Angelo one, you know, you can forget, you know, you might forget what somebody was wearing or what they said, but you'll never forget how somebody makes you feel. And I really genuinely, even as a fashion stylist, and really genuinely
so
believe
true.
that.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like,
What I love about you as well, that you know, it's kind of this, and I think it comes from a security in yourself, is raising other women up, and that's what I think
100%.
it's really important, and I see that
Oh
with
my
you,
God,
with other
definitely.
brands,
Like,
and
I
you
wish I
mention
had
them.
time to do more, to be honest, because I do get asked a lot of things that I can't do. But at the end of the day, I always say, like, there's 18 of us working here. I have to pay the wages here. I feel responsible for everybody's families as well and stuff, you know. So I have to say no to a lot of things that I do feel guilty about. But some stage down the line, but I do like helping other women. I think, and I say this about any fundraising I do or anything, I think the person giving gets more from it. Like, I get more from giving than I do if I went out and bought myself, and I do this, went out and bought myself a fancy handbag. I get a hike for an hour or whatever. But if I can give something to someone else, be that monetary or be that helping them or whatever, there's a better feeling with that, you know?
Yeah, it's a double payoff. They're happy usually, and there is a kind of usually
Definitely.
when you give. So when you're, I kind of, you know, because I'm style and body confidence and mindset. So do you feel that style plays a role in you feeling confident? Obviously, as an
Definitely.
owner of
Yeah.
a
Oh no,
boutique.
definitely. Definitely. Like, I get ready really quickly in the mornings and stuff, but I always say, Stephen, I need that 10 minutes. You need to
Yes.
give me that 10 minutes because I need it, because I just need that 10 minutes to pull myself together. Do you know, I don't have to be overly dressed up. Pulling myself together might mean wearing my favorite O'Malley tracksuit or whatever, but I need that time to pull myself together, because it does give me confidence. Doing my nails gives me confidence. I cannot not have my nails done. It's a personal thing. I cannot not have my nails done. Everything else, I might have no makeup on, my nails need to be done. Everyone has something that gives them that boost, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong when you're feeling low, going home, doing your tan, doing your nails, whatever. It might sound superficial, but if that helps your mental state, then it's not superficial. It's really important, you know. And
absolutely, yeah. And I think there can be this kind of toxicity about self-care. You know, self-care, doing your nails isn't self-care. Like, I know, like, self-care to me is obviously, you know, the way you speak to yourself. You know, there's a lot of, for me, it's quite internal. You know, but also I love getting my nails done. Don't judge anybody else's. If somebody gets,
and that is something that gives me a boost. And then I always say, like, when you feel good, you look good. So whatever clothes you're putting on, whatever they are, if you feel good in them, I genuinely believe it's your confidence that makes you look good. Do you know, I really, really do believe that it's the confidence. I've worked with models over the years and people that work in different industries, and it's the one that comes out with the confidence that'll nail it. She mightn't be the, in theory, best looking or the best whatever, but it's the confidence that will pull you through, you know. It's just owning it. So having the clothes that make you feel confident and comfortable is what will get you there.
And own it at every size. You know what I mean? That's what I would say to my clients all the time, is own it at every size, because, you know, we all know somebody that is maybe a size or two bigger than us. But there's the one that kind of shrinks away and wants to fade into the corner in beige, and then there's the one that comes out and just, you know, owns it. And they're magnet. Like, when you own whatever size you are,
doesn't matter.
When you own it, there's something magnetic about it, isn't
there? There's nothing better than somebody with confidence. We're drawn to it naturally. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to get to a point, and I'd say easily said, look, and it's easy for me to say, but you just have to believe in yourself and look at yourself and see your good points, physically, mentally, who you are as a person. Like, I try to look at myself as an overall picture, you know.
Talking about that, I was just did a post there a minute ago. I saw this. My daughter was looking at the sunset last night, and it reminded me when I was in Australia for my 50th. It was the most beautiful sunset I think I've ever seen in my life. It was in Margaret River, Australia, and the beaches are incredible.
I've been there,
And I was trying to capture the sunset, and no matter whatever angle, no matter what I did, I couldn't replicate the sunset and its beauty. And I just kind of went, we are the sunsets. You know, you can't, you might just, you know, with the photograph and with the moment, you mightn't actually capture someone's essence and beauty. Do you know what I mean? But it's still, you are beautiful.
But you know, the whole campaign of getting the picture, and like, I think sometimes it isn't just about the picture either. It's more about being in the moment, isn't it? Because that's one thing I learned with my dad. Like, you know, I go out with my dad a lot, and my dad is 79, and I love going to things with him because nobody has their phone. Like, I've gone to a couple of concerts with him in the last year or two. Like, I can't, they're reeling in the show bands or whatever, all those ones. And there's literally not one person on their phone. You know, we go to a concert and we spend so much time holding up the phone that actually, are we missing what happened? Do you know what I mean? Like I'd always take one little picture of us having a good night or one little video
Yes.
just so that I have that because I know how important that is. But I also think it's being there in the moment, you know, and having
Yeah.
that like.
Yeah, because Laura O'Malley actually mentioned that. Actually,
Mm.
she said that when I asked her about getting the picture, she said it was actually that was the first thing she thought, was actually being present and getting in, being present in your family and
Yeah, and being in the moment, you know what I mean? Like
mm,
like on holidays with the kids this year, like I was like, we just need one family photo from the holiday.
yeah.
Do you know, one family photo? It doesn't matter if we're nice or not. We just need the one of all of us, and then everything else can be the fun one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and but important for you to get into the picture as well, because that's one
Oh
thing
yeah,
I was looking back at my son's. He's 21 now in
yeah,
September, and I was looking back
yeah,
at the photo album, being all nostalgic, and
yeah,
kind of going, I can't believe I have a 21-year-old. But I really noticed that I was missing from the album. It
yeah.
was really hit me hard that how I was so present. I mean, because
Mm,
I not
of
that you could be
course.
present, but I'd given up work to stay at home, and I was so present. And I'm not
Mm.
saying that you're more present if you don't do
No,
that.
of
I'm all
course,
about
yeah.
people, but I was so present. But I was. There's no trace of me.
Have you seen
So
that reel on social media at the moment? And it says, when I look at my phone, my camera roll looks like my husband is a very happy single dad in his holidays doing loads with his kids. But I think instead of us giving
yeah,
out about them, we need to tell them. Like a couple of times on holidays, I said, Stephen, take a picture of this. Now, some of the pictures he took, we won't talk about. But you know, it's again, they're the ones the kids look back at and be like, oh, look at me playing mini golf with my mom, or look at me in the back of mom's
absolutely.
bike, you know,
Yeah.
like, and I always, so I think we just need to remind them, take a picture of us, like,
Yeah. Or
you
even,
know,
I
and
think, because even a lot of people say to me, actually, their husbands ask them to get into the picture, but they refuse. They kind of go, oh no, I'll take it.
oh
So we
God,
need
no,
to
I
just
always,
jump in the picture.
and I always offer if I'm walking past people on holidays and I'm like, do you want to go in a picture? And I take a picture of all of
Yeah,
you
I know, I
because
love that too.
I
I do
want
too.
someone to offer me that. And they generally
Yeah,
speaking, 90% of people will be like, do you want me to do it for you? And I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Do you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and the thing is, I think we live, and look, I am so heavily involved in social media, but we all go, oh God, do I look okay in that? Why does it have to go anywhere? Why can't it just be a lovely photo of you that doesn't have to go on the wall? It doesn't have to go in social media, but it's there for your kids to have in 50 years' time. Do you know?
completely. And the same with
Like,
like the getting the picture campaign as well. Like it's like, I'm not saying that you have, you know what I mean? Obviously, in the day, I'm encouraging women to put them up on social
yeah,
media, because I
yeah.
think it's just a beautiful day
Well, for the
of
campaign,
seeing different.
absolutely, of course,
But
you
like in
can't let
general,
that
you
in.
don't have to put your photographs
No,
up anywhere. Like you can just take
no.
them for you and your
So
memories.
you can take
They
the
don't
photo,
have to.
accept it as it is. That's what you look like
Yeah,
at that moment, and not be like, is that okay to post? It
yeah,
doesn't have to be posted. You can post the one next week where you look out at this world. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? It doesn't. You know, like I think that instead of thinking that every photo we take is going to be seen by whatever many people or whoever we want to see it, we don't have to look at it that way.
And I saw something, I was reading something recently, and it was like, your holidays, while we're looking at social, and again, I'm not bashing influencers or anything, but again, we all have to realize that, you're not comparing, you're not to be comparing yourself to them, because they're putting up a highlight reel as in when we curate all our feeds. But it's like, your holiday doesn't have to be like, a RSVP spread. You know what I mean? Your
No,
holiday can be just your
no.
holiday.
And the thing is, like I did actually for the first time ever this year, I blocked every app. Like there's an app you can download to block everything on your phone for the week. I haven't done that now in 12 years. I'm 12 years in business and I blocked everything and it was so good for my head.
Hmm.
Because sometimes, I'll be honest, I would look and I would see someone looking absolutely amazing on holidays and the kids look amazing and they're all on the beach and they're all twirling around and you're like, how in God's name did she get two kids to wear matching clothes? And mine are in jerseys again or whatever.
Yeah,
But actually, that's unfair of me because fair play to her. And that person's content, it might have to be like that to get more work. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to get work. I have my business. So I'm not looking to get an ad with Marks and Spencer's or whoever. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
have to respect that's the realm of work that that person might work in. And they're doing that for context of their life, and not like comparison is the thief of joy. Like, it's easily
yeah,
said, don't compare. We all do it. But I think we
yeah.
can remind ourselves that that's a very different life. And do I want that life also?
Completely, completely. Yeah, yeah. And what I love about, I suppose, I want to talk to you about this is an O'Malley, beautiful design. It's one of my favorite dresses. It's gorgeous.
Oh, all the autumn winters over there on a rail.
Oh, I know. I'm like, you were there the other day and you were like, I was like, just move, babe, move. So what about, I suppose, the kind of concept around getting the picture is getting the picture knowing that you are, knowing that you are enough as you are at this moment. You know what I mean? You might want to get over there, but like for me, it's about where you are at the moment. You are good enough already, and if you get over there, that you know what I mean. But if you don't think that now, when you get over there, because we've all looked. I've certainly gone up and down sizes throughout the years, And when I look back in pictures, I kind of go, oh my God, what was I giving out about? You know,
Mm.
what, but like if you're not happy here or not content or not fulfilled or not kind of you know, backing yourself or whatever here, then you're not going to be when you get there either. So it's all about being how you are, and if you think you're, you know,
Yeah.
imperfectly perfect. So I'd
Yeah.
love to know a little bit about the imperfect O'Malley part. How did that come about, or what's the
Yeah,
story
I
behind it?
just, do you know what? When we originally did the leopard print first day, when we were doing the branding first day, actually, we were putting hearts in it, and I was like, I don't know, it all looked very pretty and stuff because the heart was in Love Cherish. And then it was myself and Virginia at the time, and we came up with the concept of the imperfect heart because it's more me, like everything is a little bit imperfect.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah.
did the two hearts in the branding for Karen and Mom. So yeah, it's just about just that little bit of difference, I suppose, you know? Like at the moment, Molly's learning to draw and stuff, and she does the imperfect heart. I don't know, I like that concept rather than everything being
Perfect.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you mentioned you have a daughter. I have a daughter as well. Like, how important do you think your role? And look, and there's no beating it up because we'll all. Or I always say my children will be in therapy for something. If it's not one thing, it'll be something else. Like we don't ever get it right.
Yeah.
But how important do you think it is for her to see you kind of deciding your work and getting into the picture of your life and, you know, taking those, you know.
Do you know what? It's something I'm really conscious of from the shop. For years, I worked in the shop, and I used to see women come out of the dressing room and say, "God, I look very fat and that, or the size of my hips and that," and it used to hurt my soul when I'd see a young girl sitting there because I just.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very conscious, and sometimes I do say something like, "Oh God, I don't know." I might say something like, "I don't like that on me," and Molly would look at me in all seriousness. She'd be like, "You are beautiful," do you know? And like, so I'm very conscious to never use negative words, and like definitely not words like fat or big or she's too skinny or like none of that. Like I really try and keep that terminology out of our house, you know, because but she is going to come across it all in time, and you know. Like even lately, the kids have said to me, "How many followers have you?" And I'm like, "What? How do you even know what that is?" Do you know what I mean? And yesterday, Ned was like, "You have 70 whatever thousand followers, and that means you've got loads of customers." And I was like, "Followers mean nothing. It means nothing, Ned. Like it is so not important." But like, you know, as time goes, we're going to come across these things. But it's just for me to instill in them that it's just about I just about being a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just if you are a good person, everything else will come through after that. You know what I mean? So it's just it's more that for me. Like
Yeah, and I think like it's going to be a change because I mean, look, we were brought up, and our parents were brought up in a, you know, I was even looking at something the day was, you know, the Special K ad, pinch more than you can inch. It was the husband who's out in the garden, and the wife comes out with the tray of Special K for
yeah.
him. I was like, hello, get your own Special K. And he's sitting out in the garden, she's bringing it out in a tray, and then he catches her and he pinches, and he pinch more than you can inch. Like, and the toxic kind of era
I
that we were
know.
brought up in, but it's slowly changing our language, I think, around it because like I
I
always
think
think
so. I
you go
think, and
on.
like Molly and Ned understand that, like I work a lot, but they know I have my own business, and they understand that. And Molly knows that we've the brand named after her, and she recognizes it on people. And I don't know, both my parents always worked, and I've nothing but respect for them. And I think the kids will feel the same with me. And I think everything else is superficial, right? All of your weight and what you look like and everything. I think the only thing I was saying this to Stephen, I was like, our job as parents is just to try and make them good people. Like that's all we can do is just try. We might fail, but all we can do is. I was trying to explain to Molly a circumstance last night. I was saying, if there's ever anyone left out of the group, your job is to make sure you're with that person, even if that person was wrong in the first place. Don't ever leave anyone on their own. Do you know, like, like all we can do as parents is not focus on the superficial stuff. You know, deal with that when it comes up, but don't make it a primary focus in the house ever. And then focus on who they are as a person. I just think as a result of that, they'll learn to deal with all that.
Yeah, because I would have clients because you know that would come to me and they would say, oh, you know, you know, whatever sister was the good-looking sister, then there was the, you know, intelligent sister, and like labeling, you know, people with one thing that they are, like because then I suppose the big problem is if you know if that's what your worth is, you know, tied up in, like then if something happens, if you don't get into college, if you're academic or if your looks fade. Or if you put on weight, then you don't. Then you're kind of who am I? And you don't know who you are anymore. I always think.
Yeah, I think it's important to not label stuff. I find with Molly even, right? She's got lovely blonde hair, like, and everywhere we go, people comment on her hair, and people mean it in the nice possible way. They say her hair is lovely, whatever. But she's always like, every day, can I wear my hair down? Because she knows that she gets complimented on it. Do you know what I mean?
I know because like that's just what we're used to and what I know
Yeah.
it's
I think they just have to become their own person, and your job is to just guide them and hope they find their way in the world. Like, you would worry about social media and all the rest of it, but all you can do is equip them with the tools to deal with it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And like, and for me as well, it's just kind of, I always think of, when you're talking about body confidence or your body, like it's a pizza. You would pizza, of course, of course, I'd pick something like food, but it's like your body is a part of it, not like, and it's one slice of it
Yeah.
rather than,
Yeah.
5 of the 6
And
slices
that's
of
what
it.
I mean when I talk about, like, it's more about being the person than the whatever size you are that day or whatever, anything. Like, it's so irrelevant. Like, I I would rather people see people as people, do you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. I think the more we see that on social media as well, and I do love the way there's a bit more kind of a pullback and people are becoming a little bit more real now with this curated real. I don't know
Yeah, I was
what it
going to
is.
say, what's the real, like, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, here's me looking so imperfect, and you get out of bed and they're
Yeah.
like, fine. But I do think there's kind of a move, kind of a, kind of, I suppose there is a kind of a bit of momentum behind people, seeing and when I
People
talk
want
about
that.
real, I'm
People are
talking about
craving a bit
everybody's
of
real. Do you know what I mean?
authenticity again. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
people are
yeah,
craving a bit of reality again. Do you know what I mean? Sure,
yes,
the reality TV proves that. Like, but
yeah.
yeah, I think it's to detach from that and be aware of to be aware of your surroundings and who's around you and stuff as well, isn't it?
And what would you say to people, I suppose, is there any advice or whatever you would say to people that aren't getting into, because I do think that getting into the picture physically, I've never, like, I know when I wasn't getting into the picture, I wasn't getting into the picture of my life either. I was kind of, this is kind of a symptom of it. You're holding yourself back and you're maybe hiding. Is there anything that is there anything that you do kind of on a daily or, to help you feel confident and to feel, as in probably more mentally than,
Yeah, there is. Like, I mean, look, I like there's plenty of things that I do, like, I do my workouts when I'm feeling low and all the rest of that kind of stuff. But it's more about just try and step back from exactly what you look like in the picture, in the mirror or whatever, and think, well, first of all, think of other people, because other people want you in that picture and they want to see that in years to come. And you know what? You're being kind of selfish if you're not willing to do that for them. Like, I'd do anything for my kids.
yeah,
If they want me to stand there in a bikini in a picture and they want that for 20 years' time, they can have it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
first of all, think about other people. It's not all about you. And secondly, kind of just get over yourself a little bit. Do you know
yeah,
what? Have a look at yourself as more than your hair is grey roots that day, or you know what I mean? Like you're so much more than that. Like, look
yeah.
at yourself as a whole person, not as what the reflection might look at in a camera or whatever. There's so much more than that. Like, there really is. So I just think, just look at yourself as more than just your physical image. Look at yourself as a person, and do it for other people,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I just like, I love nothing more than coming across random photos of Karen, or yeah, there's nothing better. Like, it's, and like I said, I have all the post pictures, and I have the ones from the perfect family ones, but it's not those ones. It's the ones of her as a college student, drunk with her friends or whatever. It's those ones I want to see. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
the fun
It's
ones,
just like
and that's,
you're younger than me, but remember the school photographs?
yeah.
You look
I
nothing
have,
like yourself
the
in them.
red cube things at home. Those things you look into.
We
Remember
were all
them?
sitting there, we looked nothing like ourselves. I remember
Yeah.
they all shared the comb and she'd have knits by the end.
Oh, Mike, like, same photographer, the
But
comb,
you were
like,
so like
nothing,
not
like,
yourself. Just really was
no,
kind of like,
not
so
at
you look at them
all.
and you're sitting there like this, and whereas
Yeah.
yeah, it's the ones having fun and the capturing that moment and that the
Oh, a
essence kind of you.
million percent. It's just about just capturing moments more so than capturing somebody's physical appearance.
Well, thank you so much. I couldn't have, I would just leave it there because I couldn't have left it on a better note.
Thanks
Um,
so much, Karen.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much, and
me.
I look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
you. And I suppose actually, just when we're talking about getting the picture, I have this is from the first
Yeah.
year of it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's all the women that got involved in it.
Yeah.
But what I loved seeing on it was there was women with their moms, women with their daughters, and
Yeah.
it's kind of when they see you, it's kind of giving them permission to get in the picture
Oh,
again. You don't have to
100%.
put it up like I always say, you don't have to
No, I
even put it
know.
up on anywhere, which that you kind of have that and you capture it. So I look forward to seeing your photograph on the 19th
Oh,
of
100%.
August.
I'll be there. Don't worry. I'm the queen of selfies. There'll be no bother.
Thank you so much, Maeve, for joining me.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Karen. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Get in the Picture with Sharon Hubbard. I would love if you could rate and review the show, and please share with all the amazing women in your life who could do with getting into the picture of their life, knowing that they are enough as they are, perfectly imperfect. For more information on the Get in the Picture movement, Make sure you're following me on Facebook, Sharon Huggard, and Instagram, Sharon Huggard_. Tune in next week. Chat soon. Bye.